Hello everyone, welcome back to the Whiteboard app series. In this video, first we will add two more screens, dashboard screen and settings screen, and then we will give the navigation to our app, and thereafter we will do some code optimization. If you are finding the content valuable, please drop a like on the videos. It really helps me stay motivated to keep bringing you more. So let's get started. So to give the navigation, first we need to add some dependencies. So let's go to the version catalog file, and here when you search on the Google with this, you will get this first link. So let's go to this first link, and here we need to add this dependency. So let's copy all this and go to this build.gradle module level file, and here let's paste this. Android Studio is suggesting that we need to replace this with new catalog declaration. So let's do this. And with this, it has now surely added a new version here. Here we have. And one thing we need to do is let's update this version. Since we are using this 1.7.0, so let's update this navigation compose version also to the latest. To check this version, let's go to this release page of this Compose Multiplatform and scroll down, and we are using this version to in our project. So let's scroll it down, and it is suggesting this navigation library we can use this version. So let's copy it and use it here. Next thing, we also need to add one more library. Here when you search on the Google with Kotlin X serialization, you will get this first link. So let's go to this link, and here scroll down, and here it is suggesting that we need to do two things to add this library. First we need to add this plugin and then this dependency. First let's copy this dependency and go back to the build.gradle file and again copy it here. Again replace this to new library catalog declaration, and it has added the dependency here, and the version we are going to use this one. And for that plugin, let's go here, and in this plugins block duplicate this one, and here let's copy this part and change it here, and also the name. And the version it will use of the Kotlin version, because all these things are coming from the same place. So let's add this plugin also in both our build.gradle file. First go to this project level file and here duplicate it and copy it. Here let's paste it and remove this apply false and sync our Gradle files. Our Gradle has been synced, so let's close all these files, and first let's rebuild our project to make sure everything is working fine. Now next thing, we will add the dashboard screen. So this will be our dashboard screen, but for now we will add this basic setup of this screen, this top bar and this floating action button, and rest of the things we will do in the next video. So in the presentation package, let's create one more package with the name dashboard, and here create a new file with the name dashboard screen. And here first thing we need is the top bar. So let's create a new composable function with the name dashboard top bar. And for the top app bar, we have a composable with the same name top app bar. This comes with the Material 3 library. First thing, let's add the modifier. And next thing, we need to give the title. And for the title, we will use this text composable. And we need an icon on the right side of the top bar. So for that, we have the action parameter. And here we can use an icon button. And let's use an icon. And we need the icon of setting. And this on click we will provide through the parameter. And this top app bar is giving error, and we need to opt in this experimental annotation. First thing, let's use a box layout for the parent composable function, and here let's use the fill max size modifier. And here let's use the dashboard top bar. And next thing, we need to use a floating action button for this screen. So let's use. And one more thing, on this top bar we need to do is we need to align it to the top center. And this floating action button, here first thing again we need to align it to the bottom end. And let's also give the padding of 16 dp. And for this floating action button we need to use an icon, and that icon will be of add. And with this button a user can create a new whiteboard. So this will be our dashboard screen. Let's minimize all these imports, and first let's also create the settings screen. And for that again let's create a new package with the name settings. And again create a new file with the name settings screen. And this is how our settings screen will look, but for now we will give just basic setup of this screen, this top bar only. Here again we need a top bar, so let's go to the dashboard screen and copy this code and paste it here and rename this to settings top bar. And the changes will be, first this title will be settings, and here we need the icon on the start of the top bar, not the end of the top bar. So instead of this action, let's use another parameter with the name navigation icon, and this will be a back icon. So let's change this name to on back icon click and use the arrow back icon. And this is being deprecated, so let's replace this with new icon. And let's use our top bar here. First we need to use a column layout and use our top app bar. And minimize these imports. Now we have these two screens, this settings screen and this dashboard screen. But we are not using these screen anywhere. So how we will go to these screen? Because in our app file, we are simply using this whiteboard screen. So to understand this, let's have a brief on navigation. What is navigation in Android development? Navigation simply means moving from one screen to another within an app. When your app has more than one screen, you need to define how user will move between these screens. For example, a user clicks a particular button, the app should navigate to a specified screen. Similarly, when the user clicks the back button, the app should take them back to the previous screen. Now to implement the navigation, first thing we need to define routes. So in the presentation package, let's create one more package with the name navigation. And here let's create a file with the name route. And this will be a sealed class. And for every screen, we will define one route. So let's use data object. And first screen, we have the dashboard screen. And next we have the whiteboard screen. And next this settings screen. And one more thing we need to do is this whiteboard screen will be the data class, because this screen will also get an argument with the name whiteboard ID of type long, and this will be of type nullable. What happens sometimes when we go from one screen to another particular screen, then we need to pass some value also to that screen. Like when we go to this whiteboard screen from the dashboard screen, suppose user has clicked on the already created whiteboard from that dashboard screen. Then when we will navigate to the whiteboard screen, instead of creating a new whiteboard, we need to fetch that particular whiteboard on which user has clicked. So this whiteboard screen needs this whiteboard ID to fetch that particular whiteboard. And next thing, we need to annotate this with serializable annotation from this Kotlin serialization, and copy it and use for every route. And what this serializable annotation will do? The navigation library, while passing the whiteboard ID argument to this whiteboard screen, it will use this Kotlin serialization library in parsing that argument. Now next thing, we need to define a navigation graph. So here on the navigation package, let's create one more file with the name navgraph. And here create a composable function with the name navgraph. And to specify the navgraph, we have this navhost composable function. This comes with this navigation library. And here we need to define two things, nav controller and this start destination. This nav controller we will create in our app class from where everything is starting. And for this we have a function with the name remember nav controller. And this nav controller we need to pass on this nav graph. So let's create a parameter here in this nav graph, nav controller. This nav host controller we need to select, and we will provide this nav controller here. Let's use this nav graph in our app file. And next thing we need to define is the start destination. This start destination is the screen from where the app will start running. So our app will start running from the dashboard screen. So let's use our dashboard screen route. And here within these parentheses, we need to define all the screens. And to defining those screens, we have a function with the name composables. And this composable we will use for the dashboard screen. So let's use the dashboard screen route and call our dashboard screen and copy this one and use it two more times. And next we will use whiteboard screen, and last one this settings screen. And for the whiteboard screen we have code in our app file. Let's cut this code and use it in the nav graph. And we need the state and this view model. So let's also copy this code. These inner paddings we will provide to the higher composable function. So this whiteboard screen now is within this nav host. So we can simply provide this inner paddings to this nav host. And for that, let's cut this part and use it here. And let's provide these inner paddings to this nav graph in our F file. And this is how we will define this nav graph within this scaffold. And in this nav graph, we have a nav host where we are defining all our screens. And this one we need to update this to settings screen. Now next thing we need to define how we will move from one screen to another screen. So our app will start from the dashboard screen, and from this dashboard screen we can go to the settings screen or the whiteboard screen. So let's provide this thing. First go to the dashboard screen, and for navigating to this screen we have two on clicks, this settings on click and this floating action button on click. So let's use both these things here and attach both these on click. And in our nav graph, and here when user will click on the settings icon, then we will use this nav controller to navigate to that settings screen. And this navigate function needs the route, and we have the routes dot settings screen. And when user will click on this fab, then again we need to use this nav controller, navigate, and this time we need to navigate to the whiteboard screen. And this whiteboard screen needs the whiteboard ID. But when we will click on this floating action button, then we don't need to pass any whiteboard ID because we will create a new whiteboard. So here we can provide this whiteboard ID to null. And when user will go to this settings screen, so how it will navigate back to the previous screen. So here in the settings screen, we have one on click with the name on back icon click. So here let's create one more parameter with on back click and attach it here. And this on back click we will use to navigate back. And we can simply use this nav controller, and we have one special function with the name navigate up. So it will navigate to the screen from where we have come, and we have come to this settings screen from the dashboard screen. So it will navigate back us to the whiteboard screen, and same thing we need to do to this whiteboard screen. Let's go to this screen, and here we have one on click with the name this home icon click, and we will provide this through the parameter and attach this to both the clicks, first here and next in the non-compat screen here. And here we can simply again use this navigate up function. So this is all the code related to the navigation. Now we can run our app. Let's first run the desktop app. And here we have the desktop app, and we have the top bar and a floating action button. And if I click on the settings icon, and here we have a settings screen, and let's press back button, and here we have the dashboard screen. And if I click on this floating action button, and here we have the whiteboard screen, and if I press the home button again, then we have the dashboard screen. So this is how the navigation works. Let me also run this app on the Android. And here we have the app starting from the dashboard screen. And if I click on the settings icon, then it will navigate us to the settings screen. And let's press this back button and it will navigate back to us the dashboard screen. And if I click on this floating action button, and here we have the whiteboard, and click on this home icon. So the navigation is also working perfectly on the Android. Hey everyone, if you are finding this tutorial helpful, you will love my premium Udemy course where we will build Measuremate, a fitness app using Jetpack Compose. We go in depth on the Firebase authentication, Firestore and more. Check out the course in the description and take your skills to the next level. See you there. Now minimize this and next thing we will do some code optimization. First thing, let's go to the dashboard screen and change this name to more specific. On add new whiteboard, click. Next, let's close all these files and go to the domain package and the model and this drawing tool. Next, let's also open the presentation package and whiteboard component and this drawing tool fab and this drawing tools card. So here right now what we are doing in this drawing tool fab, for differentiating whether the drawing tool has the colored icon or not, we are using this image icons list. But there is a better way to do this. I got this suggestion on my YouTube video, so we will implement this. So for that, here in the drawing tool, let's define one more value with the name is colored. And this will be of type boolean and by default we will keep this false value. And for all the drawing tool we have the colored icon, we will use this value to true. So here simply use this is colored value to true and copy this and use it for these also. And rest of the drawing tool will have the icon color based on the color scheme. And let's use this value in our drawing tool fab. So here instead of this we can simply use selected tool dot is colored value, and if this value is true then we will use this unspecified, otherwise the color according to the color scheme. And now we can remove this list. Let's copy this line and go to this drawing tools card and we are using it here and we can use this code here. And here we have the drawing tool and now we can remove this list. So this was all the related to this drawing tool. Now we can close these files. Next code we need to update in our whiteboard screen. Here scroll down and in this drawing canvas function, right now what we are doing, for all the paths we are defining this path here, and for all the current path again we are defining this path like this, but we are using the code exactly twice. So there is a principle of do not repeat yourself in programming. So here we should avoid using duplication of code. So for that, let's create one more private function with the name draw custom path. And this function will get the path of type drawn path. The data class we have defined in our domain.model. And let's copy this code, cut from here and paste it here. And here this drawn path is giving error because this draw path function can only be used inside that canvas. And for that canvas we have the draw scope. And here we need to use this function as an extension function on this draw scope from this compose UI graphics. And now our error will go away and we can use this function here. And same thing let's do for each block. Now we have more optimized code. We are using this function only one time and here we are specifying the paths for both these things. This was all related to this draw custom path. Now one more thing I need to update is go to this whiteboard event class and here I need to update few names. So there will be more consistency in the namings. First thing, this instead of this simply tool, let's update this to drawing tool. And here also let's update these to stroke color and this one to background color. And everything else is looking fine. And next thing, let's go to the states class. And here instead of this selected tool, let's update this to selected drawing tool. And everything else is looking fine. So this was all for the code optimization. And that's a wrap for this video. We have successfully added the navigation and those two screens. As always, drop your questions or suggestions in the comments and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. I will catch you in the next video.